Yep.
I see red lights. Is it taping?
It's flashing.
Okay. Well, hello, class. We're still here at the Gettysburg battlefield. This is the conclusion of our trip, and we're at a very sacred spot. This is the approximate area where our 16th President Abraham Lincoln came to dedicate the cemetery. Many of the bodies, the 50,000 casualties that occurred at Gettysburg were dug up and reinterred in this area. And at that occasion, the keynote speaker was Edward Everett, who spoke for 2 hours about different subjects related to the Civil War. And then Abraham Lincoln got up and gave a speech that only lasted 2 minutes, and it was the Gettysburg Address. And in that speech, Lincoln says, among other things, he restates the purpose of the war, of the Civil War, to give this country what Lincoln called a new birth of freedom. And this was a different position for Lincoln that he had taken from the beginning of the war, when he said that the Civil War was only to save the youth. As a matter of fact, in one article, Lincoln says, if I could end this war without freeing any slaves, I would do that. If I have to free all the slaves, I would do that. And I have to free some and leave others enslaved, I would do that. But here by 1863, Lincoln now says the Civil War is about ending slavery. And he says this as a pivotal moment. And so we're here, and I want to get the perspective of some Northampton students who's studying this subject and having spent the whole day here. What do you think about now Abraham Lincoln and how he interpreted this battle? What would you start off?
I mean, Abe Lincoln, I think it's pretty ironic that, 88 years, 7 years, or 87, that he brings up the Declaration of Independence in the Gettysburg Address, considering that back then it was a Declaration of Independence and equality for all, but in reality it wasn't, because obviously the black people and the slaves weren't anywhere equal with anybody. And now, with the Gettysburg Address, he's trying to address to say that it is about equality, about freedom of all of America, bringing everybody to be one united nation. So I think that's one of the reasons they consider Lincoln such a great man, because he offers equality to everybody. And that was the entire purpose of this war, even if that wasn't the intention of it in the beginning, at least not politically.
Well,
maybe he meant it, but...
That's an important and subtle point, and that Lincoln stressed the words in the Declaration of Independence, not the words in the Constitution of the United States. So as a lawyer, he knew that the Constitution legalized slavery. But he said the real spirit of America isn't the Constitution, it's the words in the Declaration of Independence that says all men are created equal. And so how do you reconcile the principle with the law? Because now in this war we are going to really fulfill the true spirit. Other points, what do you think about maybe some of the people hearing that, some of the people buried around here? Was Lincoln ahead of his time, shaping public opinion, or following public opinion?
Lincoln shaped public opinion. Because, at the beginning, like you said before, he got everyone to fight, but he didn't tell everybody to be slaves. He got to fight, saying it was going to basically save our country. In the end, all the people that died, they would have been like, oh, they fought.
So a lot of these people buried around here, we told them before the battle, you're fighting to free slaves, would have said, threw down their weapons, I'm not going to risk my life for that. I'll risk my life to save this country, but not for this cause. Later, Lincoln says, whether they knew it or not, their death had a higher purpose. And it helped to bring about, really for the first time in America, equality. Other points of thought.
I think Lincoln was probably one of the greatest leaders that we've had in this country. No matter, even from the beginning of his election, they were trying to assassinate him from day one. And even though he knew that, he still tried to proceed with 13th Amendment fine, abolish slavery, and the rest of the war. And he knew that in the end, that no matter what happened to him, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to accomplish America.
Even that speech was courageous because he had to stand for re-election in 1864. And so, as Wilson said, this was not a popular position. He ran the risk that if people weren't happy with the Emancipation Proclamation, weren't happy with the casualties that were still occurring in Gettysburg, that he might not be re-elected. The fact that he wasn't the keynote speaker on that day and it felt obligated to put the president of the United States on the program shows how unpopular he was. But and calculated, but say, well, I may not be re-elected, but I'm going to say what I think and what I believe. And they took a position and history remembers him. Any closing thoughts? Here we have a plausible hypothetical scenario that had the South not seceded, Lincoln would have never had the opportunity to end slavery. Because, as we said afterwards, to really end it, you need to put it in the Constitution. That requires a 2/3 vote in the House and Senate, and the Southern states would have blocked it from even coming up for a vote. Southern states wouldn't have voted to amend the Constitution, take 2/3 of the states. And so by seceding, we actually set in motion a process by which we could do it. It also shows hypothetically he might have been able to end the war without ending slavery. Just militarily, the North was winning now. And he could have pushed this, he could have won, the South would have surrendered, and he could have never brought up the issue of slavery. The war would have been over, but the issue of slavery would have still plagued us through how long? So Lincoln ended the war and ended slavery at the same time. So thank you very much. We'll continue this discussion in class, but I hope you're enjoying the course. Take care and be well.